FBI being brought in to investigate the NFL's response.
Rutgers has suspended leading wide receiver.
Two San Antonio high school football players who each blindsided a referee.
Carolina being placed on probation here.
Hello, my name is Emmett Gill and welcome to the 2-Minute Warning. Sometimes it's uncomfortable talking about race issues because in general, when you talk about them from the perspective of a person of color, the black guy is the good guy and the white guy is the privileged bad guy. Intuitively, that's not how most people perceive race challenges in our United States. That is why I'm likely to experience some discomfort when talking today about the demography of pro-athlete activists versus the demography of the sports journalists who cover them. The NFL is 67% black, which can be deceiving because it sometimes appears like 85 to 94% of the starters are black. On the other hand, in 2013, whether it be sports editors, columnists, or reporters, 9 out of every 10 were white. This might explain why the media has been incapable and or unwilling to move past the kneeling and the fist raising to expound upon the reasons athletes are protesting. After looking at 100 or so media articles on Kaepernick and other stories related to athletes' protests, less than 5% delve into what athletes are concerned about and what they want to achieve. The media, whether conscious or unconscious, has not moved past the sensationalism of it all into a discussion of race relations, how police are trained, life expectancy of black males, gun violence, and other issues raised by pro athletes. Now, some might say it's not their job. Their job is to cover sports. Yet, let's look at the Derrick Rose trial, which began on Tuesday. Now, the journalists who covered the NBA have presented everything the public needs to know about the allegations against Derrick Rose. The salacious details of his sex life, the difference between criminal and civil hearings, the impact of the trial on his preseason games with his new Knick team. The coverage leading up to the Rose trial has been incredibly meticulous. Or let's talk about radio sports talk, which is even worse. Those pseudo-journalists seem to only mention the wave of athletes' activism because they have to. They quickly switch the subject quicker than a bachelor who is asked about marriage. You can feel their discomfort, almost disgust through the radio. But let an NFL player shoot himself in the leg, and they will have a week-long series dedicated to analyzing the gun he shot himself with. Still, when it comes to international black sports activism, or a time, one in which has never been seen before in the history of modern sports, the media, in particular the sports media, don't have much to say. Why? Is this about white male privilege, or what McIntosh describes as a knapsack of blank checks and unearned advantages to which white males are to remain oblivious? Or is it about that simplistic journalism proverb, if it bleeds, it reads? Kaepernick, Sherman, and Newton, they're all smart men. 3 college graduates, and even 2 quarterbacks. Sherman and Newman recently used their individual press conferences to express their concerns over police-involved shootings of black men. The media, whether white, black, or purple, had no choice but to listen. Nonetheless, we still must wonder if athletes are as powerful as we think they are. What if the other 20-some-odd NFL players who have or are protesting did the same as Newton and Sherman? Then maybe I could talk about black privilege, and maybe I wouldn't be so damn uncomfortable talking about white privilege. Hopefully this commentary on media privilege and activism provides food for thought when thinking about the impact of the demography of the media on how we view athlete protests, provides some thinking points for how athletes can become more active in social issues, and hopefully I've given you some nuggets of knowledge about the recent acts of activism and their impact on how we feel. My name is Emmett Gill. This has been the 2 Minute Warning, and thank you for joining us.